and Comics on Facebook, and follow them on Instagram.
Hello, and welcome to another episode of Pinup School Cats and Comics. I am Dennis, and we have Teresa here this week.
Hello.
Last week we had Cyclone,
I know, I'm sorry I missed it.
and if you don't know who he is, he's the host of In the Cage with Cyclone, which is a
Before
show
us.
right before us from 7 to 8 here on Strong Island Television. And his show is basically fight sports. Covers everything: wrestling, boxing, MMA, hockey, anything that has a fight in it, he will cover it, and he's very good at what he does.
And he's a lovely gentleman.
So like and share his stuff, like and share our stuff. I always forget to tell people to like and share our stuff as well. So yeah, share this broadcast, check him out, check out the others. There's a lot of good shows here on Strong Island.
Oh my God, yeah.
So I don't even know where to begin with them.
Yeah, they're all fantastic.
But yeah, check him out. There's a lot more coming. We'll get into one of them specifically in a little while.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that's the recap from last week. I also forgot to mention last week, I wanted to thank Sean and everybody at the Irish Pub. We had our first comedy night there.
You know, I missed it.
It went very well. Paul was the headliner, Paul Bond, our favorite, and he killed it. He brought the house down, even though he felt he was like, wow, I sucked tonight. I was like,
Please.
I wish my best night was as bad as your bad night, as good as your bad night. But he rocked it. Everybody did a great job there that night.
I wish I was there.
Went very well. It was a long night. I went right to work after that, but I was riding the high because it was a fun night. It was really...
I can't believe you went to work after that.
Yeah. But it was a good night, and we're going to be having another one next month. I
Oh,
don't have the date
cool.
offhand, but I will. Next week I'll have my upcoming comedy dates, and that is one of them. And I forgot, we were talking outside about Game of Thrones, so I forgot to text my cousin. I don't know if he's there, because the Irish Pub has a dart team. They're playing home tonight.
Oh, they're home tonight?
Yes. So if they are, they're probably watching us on the big screen. So hi, everybody. Make sure you kick
Hi.
ass. I'm going to try to get there after the show is done. So, again, I want to thank them for everything. John Butera has been great. He was the one who put it together. And also I want to talk about Friday night, which was the finals of the contest I was in.
Yes.
And it was a great night. Everybody killed it. It was a good crowd. It was, I don't know how the second part of the first round was, but as a part of the first one, it was almost like there was twice as many people there. It was
That's cool,
packed.
though.
It was standing room only. Everyone, like from beginning to end, just killed it. The judges were great. They got up there and did sets, and I laid it all on the line. I had what I think, and I was told by some people, especially that had been there in the beginning, my best night ever.
Nice.
Unfortunately, I did fall a little short. I was second place, so congratulations to Emily Santosa. She won.
I do I'm sorry you didn't win, but I do love Emily.
You know what? It was bittersweet because, of course, you want to win.
Right.
But it was also understandable why I lost. She had a killer set too. And Rich Rita took third. Now, he had a great set, but what I didn't realize after talking to him, he said he's only been doing this like 7-8 months, which is amazing to me.
Oh, wow.
Because I would have thought he was doing it for years. Same with Emily. I found out she's been doing it a month less than me. She's only been doing it for about 2 years herself.
Oh, cool. I didn't know that.
And I'm like, no, because she did that. I'm like, oh, wait, maybe it was. And then I was talking to her about it that night, and sure enough, she's only been doing it about 2 years. But she's years ahead of a lot of people. So,
Oh, that's awesome.
it was a great night. Everyone, like I said, did well. It was, with the amount of comics that were there and the level of comics, to be in the top 3, or the top 6 who they first had up, and then the top 3 and find out it was second, was all I really needed. It was a good night.
Good, I'm glad.
So even though I didn't get all the opportunities I would have gotten for winning, I'm still going to get a paid featured spot.
Oh, cool.
And I got to showcase my stuff in some really funny, influential people. So hopefully that gets me some stuff, too.
Oh, that's awesome.
And my allergies are acting up a little bit today, so if I'm coughing,
It's been
deal
bad.
with it.
It's been really bad.
Plus, there was a fire around the corner for me today, which I kind of walked down to, so I probably shouldn't have been standing in the smoke that long, but hey, what are you going to do? Hopefully, I just want to say, with the fire, everyone got out okay,
Oh, good.
which was good. So, unfortunately, nobody wants to lose their home, but it's better than losing
Your
lives
life. Yeah,
and your home.
absolutely.
Speaking of which, let's make a little brief thing of what's going on there in France.
Oh, my
Oof.
God. How upsetting.
Yeah, I mean, it's religious or not, I don't care. It's an iconic historic symbol.
Absolutely. It's 800 years of just, architectural beauty,
Yes.
gone. It's, and for me, I like to think of, I try to put myself in other people's shoes and the heartache they must be feeling for people that, you know, love and respect that cathedral, how it's a huge part of the community, I'm sure, and just the history behind it.
Right.
You know, it's insane.
The building itself was a tourist attraction.
And for something to last that long, to be gone.
Yeah.
You know, they said that a spokesperson said there'll be nothing to save.
And that's what you see the fire, and you're like, yeah, whatever, they'll put it out, it sucks. Then you see how big it was, and you see the steeple coming down.
And
like,
you see
yeah,
that the
this is
footage
for
all
real.
day isn't
Yeah.
slowing down.
No.
Heartbreaking.
So whether it was that, whether it was the Eiffel Tower, the ruins of Rome, you know, it's a historical.
It's still
I
heartbreaking.
love going to old churches because
Me too. You know
it's
how I feel.
like
I
nowadays
love-
with the technology,
I
it's easy
love
to snap
old
something
churches.
up. But what little they had, how high they got those steeples and the
Stunning.
hand carved stuff they put in. When we went to New Orleans, when we went to the churches there, it was just amazing.
Beautiful.
Amazing.
Beautiful.
to walk
I remember
around.
still running my hand along the wood and the way it felt and, you know, the way it looks. It's just beautiful.
And even some of the rich people's homes there, they would either hand paint or hand carve the stuff inside the homes, and nobody does that anymore. You'll never ever see anything like that again.
My dream is to one day buy like an old Victorian home that still has everything intact that I could like fix up.
Yeah.
Because like the way that things were done, the detail, the intricate detail, and like just the love and creativity put into the craftsmanship
Yeah.
is just amazing. But it's absolutely
Now it's
heartbreaking
all
what's
done by
happening in
CNC
France.
machines and everything else.
Yeah, and everything has such a plain block, like, look.
Right.
You know, like nothing is super detailed, nothing is intricate, everything is pretty simple, and just, I don't know.
Yeah, so anyway, you know, just shame with that. So before we get in the show, we'll go through our
Heartbreaking.
sponsors. So we'll start with our favorite, Frank.
Frank!
Actually, they're both involved with Frank. But anyway, Kayla Logistics, where your business is our priority. Moving products you use every day across the country and around the world. Contact Frank Zambuto for all of your domestic and international logistic projects. Frank has over 20 years experience working with many name brand companies in the apparel, cosmetics, as seen on TV, and electronic industries. For trucking, air, and ocean cargo in all 7 continents, all you need is one solution. To all Cool Cat listeners, just mention our show, and Frank will offer a free cost and transit time analysis for all of your cargo. When cost and time matter, we deliver. Frank Zambuto and Kayla Logistics, where your business is our priority. And you can reach Frank directly at 347-536-3933 or email him at frank@kaylalogistics.com. Frank is very good at what he does. If you follow him on Facebook, he's up on everything. He knows the trends of Wall Street. He knows the tariffs that are going on.
He's
He
very
knows,
knowledgeable.
He knows business.
Yeah,
and he knows
absolutely.
his business very well. So
And he's also just a great guy.
yes. And because of Frank and his wife Sarah, we are pleased to welcome back Day 3 Botanicals. They're well known for their organically grown full spectrum hemp oil rich in CBD. It is wonderful for aches and pains, stress, anxiety, inflammation, and better sleep. The sublingual drops are easy to use once or twice a day or as directed by your healthcare professional. As promised, after months of trials and testing, Day 3 is proud to offer you their very own Hemp Supreme pet formula.
Yes.
A convenient to use liquid in a dropper bottle that allows you to flavor your pet's favorite treat with a healthy full spectrum hemp oil to safely aid your pet's inflammation, aches and pains, to relax and calm them and help them sleep better at night. Visit day3botanicals.com to see the current lineup. And for those who are just listening and not seeing, 3 is spelled out T-H-R-E-E. And a new topical pain cream is coming soon, which I'm looking forward to. So you can really pinpoint, you know, the aches and pains that you have. And remember to use our exclusive Cool Cats 10 discount code for listeners to get 10% off. And that 10 is the number 10. So use that to get 10% off your order at the time of checkout. You can mix and match. And remember that all Day 3 products are organically grown in the United States. No foreign hemp oil or synthetic CBD. They make Day 3 products with your health and well-being in mind. Visit day3botanicals.com for current prices and complete product information. And remember to use the exclusive Cool Cats 10 discount code for all our listeners. And as we know, CBD oil is pretty freaking awesome.
Yeah. I'm very
And
dependent on my Day 3.
It's high end.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Not
you
watered
know.
down, cheap synthetic stuff. It's top grade CBD oil.
Yeah, I'm so glad it's back because I was lost without it.
Yeah, and you can tell firsthand, and you've used it. You've had other people use it. You notice it right away.
Oh,
And
absolutely.
it's-
Yeah, and I sincerely mean it when nothing else compares. It's amazing.
I mean, I know you could go pretty much anywhere now and get a cheap bottle of CBD oil. And
Yeah,
it's like, I don't care what the
now
hype
it's
is.
like
Yeah, because
the
you're using
trend that it's
garbage.
using crap, yeah.
Use Day 3, a high quality one, and then you'll notice the difference right away.
Absolutely.
And I can't wait to. I'd like to see how this pet one works. I would like if
I'll let you
someone
know.
does
I
use
want to
it.
use it on my cat Otto. Sorry, guys, keep hitting my mic. I want to use it on my cat Otto, who stays with my parents because he's such a dick that he can't come live with us. He's very good to my parents, but when I come or when my daughter comes over, he's so nasty. Ever since I brought another cat in, his total attitude changed, and then I got pregnant, and he got psycho. Like, now he won't even go near me. And I want to see if, definitely some kind of jealousy issue, some anxiety issue. So I want to see if this helps his anxiety a little bit.
And I'm curious too what it would do for pets that have like the PTSD around fireworks.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, you know, if it calms them down,
That
that
I
can make
can't
4th of
help
July
with
or the
'cause-
summer in general very
Yeah.
a lot easier for your pets. So,
Yeah. But
yeah.
I'm sure if it helps with his personal anxiety, it would definitely help another pet with, noises and fireworks.
So yeah, we'll see what's going on. Maybe we can find a test subject. If someone's pet does have issues around fireworks and stuff like that, reach out to me and we'll see if we can do a little experiment.
Ooh, I don't know if anyone wants to experiment on their dog though. Maybe.
Well, I mean, just 'cause-
maybe another word would be better.
No, experiment, because it's not like they're not going to have the fireworks around them
Little-
anyway.
a
So
trial.
Trial. So yeah, that does it with the sponsors. So we're going to get into the show, and I guess we'll let you start it off. We're going to break some big news and talk about a
Okay.
lot of stuff that's coming up this month.
So this is hard for me, and it's sad too. But I've made the decision, and I've already spoken to Dennis about it in detail, to kind of step away from my role as co-host on the show because I'm never here, and it's not fair. My life has been really crazy the past year, and as a mom of a toddler, and trying to figure out all these things, and she's my priority, I haven't been able to be here, and that's not fair to Dennis, that's not fair to the guests, and that's not fair to the viewers, and it's not fair to me. I get really, really bummed out when I have to miss a show, especially if it's a guest that, I reached out to, and then, I'm not going to be, I reached out to them, and then I'm not here. And there's a lot of events that I always say I want to go to, or I wish I could go, or I wish I could have went to that, and I feel bad. It's so important to stay connected with people and stay connected to my friends and my, previous guests and people I support. And when I can't physically show that support and be there for people, I feel terrible. So until I can organize my schedule a little bit better, and until, maybe Rosie's a little bit older, I think it's best for everybody if I, step back and kind of let Dennis take the reins, because at the end of the day, you're here.
And with that being said, the actual show, Pinups, Cool Cats, and Comics, was our thing.
Yes.
And I wouldn't want to continue that without you, which is
I
something I told you before.
I appreciate very much.
And coincidentally enough, I was working on a second show that I was going to try to do right before this or right after this, called The Newman Show.
Newman Show.
So instead of going crazy trying to figure that out, because we're not going to be able to hold this time slot.
No. I knew that.
The station's just way too busy and too many people coming in. So The Newman Show, starting next month, is going to take over this time slot from May on. And what our goal is, what we're going to try to do, is make the last Monday of every month Pinups, Cool Cats, and Comics Night, where Teresa will come back and we will continue this format of show.
It's really important for us to keep the show alive. I am really sad that this was a very necessary decision, but it's just I think best for everybody, because this way, if we do it once a month, it's easier for me to plan. It's easier for me to make it here, and it gives you the creative freedom to do the Newman Show, and you have 3 weeks of the month to run your show, and then we can cap off the month with Pinups, Cool Cats, and Comics, and some entertainment and some some fun stuff. So, and it also makes me a little bit less sad that we're still doing it. It's not completely, it's not an end of a chapter. It's just
it's just it's like seeing someone in the first season and they disappear for a while and then they come back and they're even stronger and better than ever, like Morgan in The Walking Dead, right? I just want to say hi to a few people, and I know I sound like Bobby Brady. my voice cracking. Nobody probably gets that except anybody over 40. But I know V and Jay are watching, Tony's watching, so Larry, Mike, and I see Teresa's on, and Frank. I don't know if you just tuned in, but we were just talking very highly of you, talking about darts, the Irish pub, and everything, and hopefully I will see you guys after the show. And Jay said trial as well, that's why I laughed when you first started saying
Yeah.
it. So don't experiment on your pets. Have a trial with the CBD pet formula. But
Because it's to help them. When you say experiment,
Yes.
it sounds
I
not
hear,
helpful.
well, it can be used in good times too, like experimental sex. So I like to try new things.
But we're
out.
talking about dogs, so I don't know
Yeah,
if that,
so
was,
maybe
that
we
wasn't
shouldn't
in
use
good
that.
context either.
All right, forget about that. But anyway, to go further, the Newman Show. All right, Pinups, Cool Cats, and Comics was an entertainment, guest-driven show where
Yeah.
we talked about
Lighthearted, fun, completely, entertainment-based.
and it was based
show.
off pinups and comics with the Cool Cats, which covered everything between anyone with a cool story, which a lot of people fit in more than one category.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
You know, you had somebody like Pauline Murphy, who was a
I
model,
love Pauline.
was a comedian, and had very interesting life stories. So she
Yeah.
was one of many people that fit all three categories.
A lot of people were actor, model, comedian, I mean, down the line, a million things, and there's just one thing that they happen to be more known for.
Even when Margot came on, she was a model, EMT, bartender, had some cool
Everything.
stories.
Yeah.
So that's what we try to do. We try to get guests that were just multi-talented, and just keep stuff lighthearted. Now, the Newman Show is going to be more of a topic-driven show where in the beginning, we're going to see how it plays out, just like anything else, but most likely we're going to pick a topic and have a guest, if we have a guest that week, who knows about that topic. And just delve into it and just see where it goes. I'm not gonna be very scripted to it, where it just has to go that way. We're not gonna listen to anything else. I enjoy when people chime in, and if it does take little turns here and there, I'll go with it, and then we'll try to steer it back in the path. And it's gonna cover anything. It could be anything newsworthy. Like right now, a big topic is bail reform. A lot of people don't even know what that is, or
I have no
the
idea
fact
what
that
you're
it's going to
talking
affect
about.
them. But you're gonna find out soon. As a matter of fact, I want to try to do that early. And there's a couple of people I want to reach out to that are experts on it, that know a lot more about it than me. But this can be really bad for a lot of people. So I want to inform, because you can't trust anything anymore, especially the
Unfortunately,
news.
yeah.
And especially social media. Those two are the two least things to trust. But information is still out there if you know how to weed through it. You got to stay away from left and right, which is almost impossible at this point because it's usually one or the other.
Right.
But sometimes you can read between the lines. But what I want to do with the topics is try to find someone who's personally involved in it. Not someone with an agenda, but someone who knows about it
Who's
for whatever
experiencing
reason.
it.
So when I go after bail reform, I want to get a bail bondsman or someone with that knowledge to explain exactly what it means
That's
to
smart,
everybody.
though. That's smart.
And that's it in the sum up. And we'll go with trending topics. We'll go with some old stuff maybe, and entertainment, sports will be part of it. Just a little bit of everything.
And that's going to be really fun, really exciting, especially for the viewers that watch Pinups, Cool Cats, and Comics that are looking for more in the now stuff. Like, I feel like a lot of the stuff that we do is based on solely our guest or something, entertainment based, some
Right.
kind of show, whatever. That I think is a really good way to get to know people and to tell them what's going on that they may or may not know.
Another guest that I know will definitely happen, I just don't know when, will be Mace. Mace Greenfield.
Oh, I love Mace.
People may not know because it was such a long time ago, but he had his own show called Mace in Your Face.
Mace in Your Face.
Where
yeah.
he went after people. I mean, he didn't hold back. He was very truthful about stuff, and he didn't pull any punches. And he's going to be getting the show back on again. At least that the last I heard from him, I don't know when it's starting, but he was getting a co-host together. He was going to start doing it.
Cool.
And like I said, he doesn't pull punches, so it's going to be interesting to see what he goes after. He went after politicians. He went after everybody that just weren't doing what they were supposed to do and what they promised to do. So, I want to kind of cross-promote his show. And,
Absolutely.
Yeah, we're just, I'll let him, no holds barred with him, let him do what he wants. And, it should be fun. I have some things in mind, and I want to try to go that way.
Well, you'll be able to have a freedom that we don't have on, Pinups, Cool Cats, and Comics because we want to keep it a certain, especially like I was very adamant about keeping it fun and light because
Well, I was too, because it was that type of show. It was
Right.
an entertainment-based show,
Right. Exactly.
you know, and there's serious shows on TV, there's not serious shows on TV, and, you know, it's when someone tries to be everything, can it work? Yeah, but it kind of takes away from the focus of what you're trying to do.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I agree with that 100%. And I think that for me, like, because I see all sides of it for, like, you know, current topics, news and whatever, I see every side of situations. So it gives me a lot of anxiety to discuss it. I think, you know, there's so much stress in the world right now
Yeah.
that it's so much, for me, you know, what I loved about the show is that it was fun. You know, we had a couple of episodes that took a turn and were, you know, a little bit, you know, I don't know if I want to say sad or, you know, stressful to talk about, but 9 out of 10 times it was a very fun, lighthearted show. And I know, you know, you don't see enough of that anymore.
Yeah, unfortunately, life isn't always fair and nice, and a lot of people have a lot of stories and a lot of experiences in life. And
Yeah.
without adding anybody, I mean, some people did tell us some stuff on the show, but some people had a very rough life getting to where they were.
Absolutely.
And a lot of times, comedians are comedians because of the rough life
I
and
think-
bad experiences they've had, and they turn to comedy as an escape.
Yeah, yeah, and I think that, you know, everybody has a past, obviously. But, you know, and like I said, this show would take a turn because we aren't a scripted show, you know. I'm sure that's very clear by the a million times I say, I don't know what you're talking about, you know, certain subjects. But we're not a scripted show, and, you know, sometimes that's just where the conversation takes you. But I'm sure people that have been following us for a while would see me kind of shut down and not know what to say because, you know, it's stressful. It's stressful to, you know, put your feelings out there, or even if it was someone else's feelings, you don't want to say the wrong thing, or you just kind of want to
Right.
observe and listen. And
Now, this show might get a little heated at times, but my thing is, and it's hard now because nobody really believes it. If you don't agree with them, automatically you're on the other side.
right, and
Which isn't
we've
true.
had this
I am
discussion
centered.
a million times.
I really don't feel either political party, I should say either of the big two, I don't believe in either of them really. There's a lot of pluses and minuses you could say for either side of what they tell you their agenda is, because what they say and what they do, as we know, politicians aren't usually
Yeah.
the case.
You see
But-
those memes where it's like, you know, the left is saying this, the right is saying this, and I'm over here saying you look like the same person or
Yeah.
whatever it is.
Two
And
wings of the same bird.
yeah, all those different types of memes or whatever's floating around.
But I am going to shoot as straight as I can. And when I first talked about the show, my friend Mike, who co-hosted one night, was very, very interested in it. And he has some ideas and passions that he wants to get out there too. So the way he put it is he's going to be the Ed McMahon to my Johnny Carson.
Oh, I love it.
So Mike is going to be on when we do it. We'll see how that goes, if it fits with him,
See,
if he's able to do it, because I know
everybody-
he's got his things too.
Everybody told us that we had great chemistry, but I also think that you and Mike have great chemistry. So I
Right.
think it will be a really fun show.
That's what
in a
makes
different
a good show.
in a different
it,
way.
It really is. If you could kind of feel when something's off, and
Totally.
when two people get along. I also heard that when Paul Baum was here, and if you ever want to do a show together, regardless of what it's about, let me know, because I would love to do that. Paul's a great guy.
Oh my God, the best.
And
I contacted him recently because my uncle wants to get into comedy.
Oh really?
Yeah, and I was like,
he's definitely
I
one
was
to
like,
ask.
oh my God, my.
You see what he's done for me.
Well, yeah, exactly. You know, exactly. You know, so I reached out to him and he said he'd help him out.
And I specifically spun it back to Paul because, again, V, if you're watching, you can post it now. It's been a rough season for Paul with the cats.
Oh, yeah.
They're taking care of him. So now he's got some other issues, some other medical bills that are coming up. So I know we keep bothering you for this. I don't like... it's tough with a charity because there's so many out there, and usually I don't like to pinpoint with one. But with Paul, he's very close friends with us, and we've been
This is such a personal charity, and he and his wife do everything, and the money is going directly to the cats.
That's why I do it, because a lot of me really don't know. And you hear these horror stories.
I had a friend of mine who's an accountant who may watch the show, so I'm not going to point you out, that told me about certain charities that I was under the impression, you know, everything went to what they were saying
Right.
it went for. Not everything, I understand their expenses and whatnot, but the majority of it was going to like the people running running the
Right.
charities, and it was very depressing and very deflating and
When you hear
defeating.
low numbers like 5% go to the actual charity.
Yeah,
which
it was
it's
so.
true
She
with
was
some of them.
she was telling me charities that I would donate to,
Yeah.
and I don't have money. I would give to charities that I had faith in because I think it's so important to give back. And I was finding out that these charities are lying to us, and it broke
Yeah,
my
it's-
heart.
it
It
does
broke
suck
my
when
heart.
you find that out.
So when I find a charity that I know or situation to donate to that I know wholeheartedly is going to the cause,
Right.
I am, take my last cent because, you're honest and that's important,
And that's
you're
what it's-
helping people.
It's not a
Animals.
business. It's Paul reaches into his own pocket and spends it to it. And I can understand if you're a legit charity and that's what you're doing 24/7 and you can't work a regular job, you do have to draw an income off it because you have to eat and everything too. And I'm okay
Absolutely,
with that.
absolutely.
But when you start buying vacation homes and taking trips and doing this and doing that, and the charity's getting a small percentage of the money, that's when I have
That's
an issue
disgusting.
with it. And I don't know if it's true or not, but like the Wounded Warrior Foundation, I started
I wasn't going
things
to.
about
I
that.
wasn't going to bring that up.
And like that's close to me too, and I used to donate to them all the time.
I
Now I
did
don't
too.
know. Now I don't know.
Yeah, I lost a lot of faith.
The Red Cross. Now you're saying they're good or bad? Because I've heard both with them too. I've heard they've done a lot of things for a lot of people, but I heard they
That's
take
the thing,
a
too.
large percentage for themselves.
You don't want to believe that these charities that you think are helping people or animals are doing something so terrible.
Yeah, the
you know,
ASPCA,
you
I've
don't
heard
want to.
really bad things about them.
I've heard bad things about so much stuff, and it's like you don't want to believe it
No.
because you want to hope that these situations that need help and need money for to find a cure for an illness or
Right.
to help animals on the street, whatever it is, you want to put your faith into that.
Right. And it's, I started weaning down over the years when I was younger, and I used to do a lot of different things for charity. And I cut down. The only thing I was really doing anything for at that point was Big Brothers Big Sisters, because I knew the president of the organization at the time. I knew he was a stand-up guy and was doing the right thing. I haven't done anything in a while, not for any particular reason with them. I don't know if they're still good, but I know they were local. I like the local
Local,
charities.
I like
'cause like the
the-
John Thiessen Foundation that BAB stands behind. I had no
Yeah,
problem giving
I
money
like
to
local
them
charities,
because
too.
you knew it was staying here and
Yeah.
you knew it was going to the
I
right
like fundraisers
spot.
a lot. I like,
Yes.
when like local establishments have fundraisers for local people. I love supporting stuff like that because it's going to that person in need or that situation that needs help,
Right.
like, because I'm really big on animal charities because I'm an animal lover, and then you get to a point where your life, you wish you could help everybody.
Yeah.
And I think that's a lot of why people don't want to lose faith in these charities because you wish you could help everybody. So at least you could say, I'm doing what I can. I'm doing, the best that I can through this charity. And then you find out the charity's screwing them. It's heartbreaking.
Yeah, to go further, Mike did specify, and that's what I did here. The Red Cross, with all the good that it does do, the CEO himself gets millions. Which, if you're getting into charity, not getting into charity for $1 million, even if you want to take $100,000 a year, that's more than enough to survive pretty much anywhere.
Yeah.
And you don't have to live in New York or California, especially if your heart is in the charity. And they give out less than 5% of the money taken into it. So with the money they do spend on charity, lets you know how much they're actually taking in. So just think of how much more they could do if they even just did 50%. Which I think 50% is even a low number for a charity to give back out.
Yeah.
Just want to say a couple of quick things. I see Mace had tuned in. Mace, if you're still listening, we were talking about you before. I want to get you on the Newman Show on one Monday night to talk about what your show is and what you're going to be doing. Paul just tuned in.
Paul.
Thank you, Paul. We were just talking about your charity. And
The
that got us
kitties.
off on a little sidestep of the other charities. But yeah, to get back to that, Paul goes out and does the stuff in feral communities.
Yeah.
I said it right that time. He goes out and shovels the snow.
Yep.
He helps build the, if you want to call it homes or whatever for them. He buys the food. He brings the cats to the vet. He pays the vet bill. This is not getting filtered through some charity who's keeping 90% and giving 10% out to it. He's doing it himself. And like I said, he reaches into his pocket and does it. He's not making a dime off this. In fact, like I said, it's costing him money. So all he's trying to do is
Help these
defer his
cats.
costs.
Yeah.
So he could eat. And his wife could eat. Because he always, it's amazing. He puts the cats first.
Always. Always.
Housing. Yeah. It's. Yeah, I mean, I don't know what else to really say about it, but it's. I was going to say this winter we really didn't get much snow, but I think it was the winter before. I'm watching Paul do a Facebook Live how he was on his way to shovel out because the community he had set up was plowed in.
That's another thing too. If you follow Paul on Facebook, he does a lot of Facebook Lives, and he'll keep you up to date with what's going on with the cats and what he's doing. And I feel like people like that connection.
Yes.
You know, like when I was volunteering, people that were higher up in the rescue would constantly post stuff, and people love that. People want to know what's going on.
Right.
People want to be updated.
So definitely, help Paul out if you can. And I'm not knocking charities as a whole. I just don't know what to believe anymore with them. I'd rather give direct. I've done that with a few people where they can afford to eat or whatever, and I just sent a pizza to the house or. I'd rather do that because if I give to a fund who gives to them, who knows if they're getting anything from it.
Well,
I get disappointed after Sandy, and after you finish, I'll tell you why.
I'm trying not to be disheartened, with the world, and that's hard with the way that the media is and the way that everybody's becoming so negative, and I feed off of that. I don't want to be that negative. Right. And I don't want to assume the worst in everything and everybody, even though it's hard when you're surrounded by all this stress and hate and people telling you to think one way and whatever. So whatever you can do to give back, like even one little thing a day. Like I was really big on when I would go to the city, I'd give a couple of dollars or a slice of pizza or whatever to a homeless person, like just because they got to eat too. Like, and,
right.
Like any tiny little thing that you could do to help anybody is a big deal, and you might think it's a small gesture, like paying it forward, buying a person a cup of coffee in front of you. You have no idea how much that could mean to that person.
Yeah, it can make their day.
Yeah, like I watched something on Facebook today, like, Facebook, it's the worst thing, the best thing, because you get so much negative stuff, but then you'll get some positive stuff too. And this guy was $20 short to buy his dream guitar. I don't know if it was a pawn shop. I don't know the situation. I only saw his reaction. And this woman was like, I'll pay it forward. No big deal. Didn't even think about it.
Right.
And the guy was elated, so thrilled. And it gave me such a warm, fuzzy feeling that,
yeah.
someone could do that for someone else. And granted, a guitar isn't, something that.
It could be. It could be.
It
his
could
life.
be. It
It's
could
his
be.
Escape,
He could.
a lot of musicians get into it because they want to escape reality. And
Yeah,
stuff.
or
who knows? Maybe becomes the next big rock star.
That's
and makes
a
millions.
good point. That's a good point. But just the fact that somebody else went out of their way to make him happy, complete stranger, it was nice to watch, and I like to see stuff like that.
Before I get into
V,
what I
you
was
saw
going to
that,
get
right?
into. Paul said there's 17 colonies to shovel and maintain, plus the ones they foster and adopt. So, I mean, again, this is Paul and I guess his wife. There's really, it's very small and localized, so he needs all the help he could get. Yeah, it's very tough. But I wanted to say real quick, I don't want to hop on this too much because we got so many other things to talk about.
I know.
But after Sandy, I knew people personally that lost everything.
Yeah, me too.
In the floods and whatever, and unfortunately, some of them had apartments, so they weren't getting anything.
Yeah.
But there were people that were collecting food and clothes and all sorts of things to give to these people. So I started going through my closets, and I was giving away leather and suede jackets that were $500 at least. Other stuff I wasn't wearing anymore. I started looking around, what food did I need, not need. I went shopping and bought some pasta and soup and stuff that would last. And I brought it off to drop points. I had other people coming in and help, and I filled up my truck with bags of clothes and stuff that I collected from other people as well as myself and dropped it off. And then I asked these people what they got. Nothing. I don't know where it went, but the two people I knew personally got nothing. There was nothing set up in their area. They were supposed to be helping people out. Now, some of it I know was communication, because there was a spot where BAB said that they had a truck set up and they were giving food to people in Long Beach, but nobody knew it was there. So the food was going to waste. So
That's
it could
the
have
kind
been a
of stuff that drives
communication
me
issue.
crazy.
But I said next time if something like that ever happens and I'm motivated to give it again, I'm going to find the person who lost it and give it right to them. Because I don't know where the money from Sandy went. Because they had the charity to Billy Crystal did the thing to rebuild the boardwalk, but FEMA money was supposed to go towards that, and the taxes went up to pay for that, and this went up to pay for it. I mean, how many times are you going to pay for one boardwalk?
Yeah.
So, I just lost faith again in
on a happy note,
bigger things, and I go more direct now.
A friend of mine her coworker's family, when everything happened in Puerto Rico, what was it, 2 years ago almost? Her coworker was doing a collection for Puerto Rico, and I had leftover diapers and formula because my daughter at that point, we were very specific on what brands we wanted of each, and she had to be on a special formula. So I gave them everything I had left over, and it was like I gave them gold. This is all stuff that was given to me at my baby shower and stuff, like just taking up space in my counters. And like I found out through my friend that everything went to where it had to go. And like I'll never forget that feeling of the look on their face, and they're like, "Oh, like nobody else thinks to bring diapers and formula to stuff like that." Not nobody else, but not enough people. Socks and stuff like that. So it really warmed my heart to how they reacted. Now did I find out anything other than that? No. But with their reaction, there's no way it didn't go to someone that needed it.
Right.
So that made me feel really good. So you can't lose faith
And of
completely.
course, but I almost forgot what Joey did. That was, again, direct to a charity.
Absolutely.
So that I have no problem getting behind. Anything that's going direct. Jay said, sounds like the Newman Show is starting early.
That's all right. This is kind of like...
Kind of, yeah, this is just...
I don't want to say this is my goodbye show because we're...
No, because we still got 2
we're
weeks
still,
left of this format, the Pin of Cool Cat format, but...
And we're still going to be doing, a once-a-month thing, but it's basically a goodbye show. Telling you guys what's going on.
So anyway, speaking of goodbye shows, we're in the final season of Game of Thrones, and don't worry, there will not be any spoilers. We're not going to hop on it too long for the people who brag that they don't watch, and I haven't watched an episode yet.
It's amazing how many people brag about it.
I don't know why. There's so many things I have never watched, and I don't feel the need to brag about it because it doesn't make it... I can see if you watched it and you didn't like it and say, I just don't get it, but I've never watched 1 minute. Well, it could be the best show ever for you, and
I never understood people that broadcast information like that. Like, the guy that's like, I'm going to delete 20 of my friends on Facebook today. Like, nobody gives a shit. Like, why are you telling people, like, you don't have to like the show? You don't,
But they don't even know if they like it or not because they've never seen it. But anyway, it is probably one of the most popular shows at this point. They just entered their final season. Last night was the season premiere of the final season, which means there's only 5 episodes left.
It's crazy.
And it was...
And they...
It was fun last night.
It was a really good episode, but they fucking lied because it wasn't over an hour.
No, originally they said that each episode would be feature movie length.
Really
and apparently
salty
they changed
about it.
Yeah, especially being it's really
I said to
shortened
Tony,
in the
I was
season.
like, that wasn't an hour. And he was like, no, I was like, that wasn't more than an hour. And he goes, that wasn't even an hour.
And I think it was 56 minutes they said the runtime was, which didn't
Crap.
even seem like it was that.
Crap.
But it was.
But it was a really, really good show.
They opened a lot of doors, and there's a lot of open questions. I just hope they don't leave us hanging on a lot of them. I hope they do.
I mean, they might
close the chapters. I know George R. R. Martin said he doesn't want this to be the last season, but he wasn't. And I'm not saying it's easy. Write this, okay, no problem. Being creative, sometimes you just can't do it. But when they wanted to do the last season, he wasn't writing it; they wrote it.
Right.
And he read it and didn't approve it, so that's why it got shelved and redone and over again until it took almost 2 years between the last 2 seasons. You're going to lose interest if you do that every time. If they don't make this the last season, you got to wait another 2 years for the next season. You're going to lose more and more fans each time.
Right.
Now it was a big build-up.
I think
next time it's going to be like, I'm done with this crap.
I think, making this the last season is a good choice.
And they already have at least 2 spin-offs, whether they were prequels or whatever, done.
Oh, I
think
didn't know
they're
that.
looking for a third. Yeah, so there will be more Game of Thrones, just not this series. And again,
think it's
without
important
posting
too-
spoilers, man, you got to watch it. Look at
Yeah, I
facial
don't wanna-
expressions. There was so many good things.
It was
the
very
reveals
good.
came from last season, so again, we're not ruining anything. The reveals from the last 2 episodes finally came to fruition, so you got to see what that was all about. So yeah, it's really this is going to be an exciting.
But I
season.
think, because I don't want to risk saying any spoilers, it's important for shows to end on a good note and not draw it out. Like I was talking to Tony about how I read that Stranger Things, their next season is probably going to be their last. And at first I was like so bummed because it's only the 3rd one.
Right.
But the idea of ending on a high and ending when the show is strong and having a good ending, as opposed, now granted, Game of Thrones, this is its what, 8th season? You know, like
It's seven or eight.
8,
It might be 8.
Watch, we're both wrong. It's like 9
Yeah.
or just fucking whatever. But like, and you know, people have been obsessed with it so long, and it's always been a consistently good show.
Right.
You know, it's just you don't want it. You don't want any show to drag out to a point where it's like no offense, The Walking Dead.
You know,
like-
well, here's my take on that. They did have one really off season to me, in my opinion, which was it is the 8th for Game of Thrones. With The Walking Dead, the terminus season to me was a big waste because it was this whole big build up of everyone being separated, trying to get to this one point of terminus. They go there, they get captured, and then boom, it was over.
Yeah.
Carol Rambo saves the day. Everyone gets out. It was like the build up was to get to this big explosive
Hi, Karen.
thing.
Missed you too.
And it just it was anticlimactic. It was very anticlimactic. Oh, hi Karen. Karen's my sister. She's living up in North Carolina right now.
Woo.
But The Walking Dead, I think, you know, the first couple of seasons it was all about the walkers and them trying to find out what was going on. They can't do that season after season because they got to the point where the walkers weren't even a threat anymore. And I think they went real life on it. And when I say that, obviously not that
feel
zombies
like-
are walking around, but if something like that were to happen, it's not the dead you got to worry about that are going around. It's the living.
Right.
It's the ones that are trying to take from you and everything else. And I think they kind of
I
hit the
still
nail on the head.
think it's just been drawn out. I cut out early.
I thought it was with Rick, honestly. I was getting tired of Rick. Psycho Rick was cool. Then you get to Nice Rick, and it was the same story all over and over. Oh, we got to kill the governor. Oh, but let's try to make friends with him. Oh, he's killing me. Let's kill this and do this.
I just think they
you know.
started off so strong, and then it just kind of like waved around in the water for a while. You know, it didn't dive deep, didn't come out, just kind
I
of.
kind of feel you on that. And like I said, a lot of that was Rick. I love the Negan thing. I love Negan. I think he was
a
great.
lot of people
But again,
did.
Rick was doing the same thing with that. Let's kill everybody. Oh, we got to make friends and do this. He was so back and forth and wavering. I got tired of it. When his character left, to me, the show had a rebirth. The Whisperers, to me, are much better of a threat than anything to this point. I think they're starting to show that with Rick gone and that whole wavering thing back and forth. Now people are like,
No, I
this
didn't
is
watch it.
real.
Did Rick die? Did he just leave?
No, they didn't want to kill him off because they do plan on doing a movie. So he was kind of taken away by this other group who we don't know who they are yet.
So do you think he's going to come back in the show?
He might make an appearance here and there, but it was just tough for him because he doesn't live here and he had to keep coming here for the shoot. So he was never around his family. So he wanted to be home more. You know, you make a movie somewhere in England, I guess. V, where is he from?
V always
She knows
finds
all
out
this
for
stuff.
us.
But it's amazing because half the cast is from the other side of the pond. It's amazing when you hear them talking. It's like
I
they're
didn't
not
know that,
American.
yeah.
They're not from the South. Yeah.
I feel like, you know, I don't watch the show anymore, and I did cut out pretty early, so I feel like I don't have the right to say too much. But
I will say this.
I do feel like it was drawn out.
The Spike episode, and I'm not doing any spoilers at this point because it was weeks ago. So if you were a fan of the show and you didn't see it, tough shit. The Spike episodes, when they had all the different heads on the Spikes from people in the group,
Oh, shit.
it was honestly, it was weeks ago at this point. To me, that episode rivaled and may have even beaten the Negan smashing in Abraham's and Glenn's head. People who don't watch the show
See,
aren't going to agree with
I
me.
watched that episode.
But if you,
the Negan.
the Negan one, yes, and that was the most, and a lot of people.
And honestly, that one flipped me out a little bit.
Yeah. Now this I thought was worse for two reasons. One, they started building up the characters, and people got. You know, if you don't build up a character, you're not going to have any. You're not going to care if
Right.
they live or die. It doesn't matter. So
Absolutely.
They built up new characters, and it was set in a thing now that hey, we beat the Saviors, we beat Negan. Life is normal again. We're farming. You know, women are getting pregnant again. You know, everyone's living like a normal life. There's different communities that people are going back to have an affair where everybody could trade stuff, and life is grand. Then all of a sudden, the Whispers came in and spun that around and let them know that they haven't even met their biggest threat yet.
Right.
So when they killed off the people that they killed, it was different from the comic, which people are going to get upset about that. But then you got to kill off Carol. Daryl never should have existed, so stop with that too. But when they went through, Brett Butler had a character, and she was like, this Southern mom with the husband and the kid. When you saw her head on there, it was like, oh man.
Yeah,
And then Enid, you saw her. I was like, oh man, you know. Henry, I couldn't care about because to me he was just a new version of Carl, just going out doing whatever he wanted, getting everybody in trouble.
Now, what
anyway,
happened to Carl?
Carl got bit a while ago and died off, like
shit.
last season.
I've been so.
And I was happy
out
about
of
that
it.
too. Everybody was all upset, but I hated his character. All he did was get
See,
them into more and more trouble.
I wouldn't. From the first season, I always thought Carl's character is going to take a really cool direction.
Supposed to. In the comics, Rick dies and he takes over. He's the one who captures and imprisons Negan, and he was a badass character.
Yeah.
And they started going that route, but it just never really sold because it didn't sell to me at least, and I think they kind of saw that too.
Yeah.
So
That's a bummer.
Judith now is the badass. So I could see them having her do the Carl thing eventually. She's still really young right now, but she's got the hat, she's got the gun, she's got she's
How
got
old
the
is she
sword.
now on the show?
V said Rick Morgan and Jesus are British, Maggie is Irish. How old is she on the show, Judith? 8, maybe? She's young.
I forgot about her character.
But she could take that role over. And what I was going to say, to sum it up, it was bad enough just seeing the heads on the spikes. What really was the killer was the doctor that they let live, because Alpha said, you go back and tell everybody what we did.
Yeah.
She wanted me to do this, but I won't do that. I'm going to tell you how brave everybody was. Everybody fought. Everybody worked together. Everybody did this. And they started showing, like they did, going back, showing what happened. And they're tied in the chairs and they're running into everybody. And it wasn't like the scene on the spikes was bad enough. Now they're showing you how they all got killed off. And you're like, man. So it was, to me, it meant more than the Abraham and Glenn scene. And V was like, eh. And then she saw it. She goes, man, yeah, that was tough to stomach. She cried. She said it was definitely equal to that. So the show's taking a new direction. Next season's supposed to be so much worse. And by
Really?
worse, I mean like more violent and everything. So
See, but
maybe go back and watch. You don't have to go all the way back, but maybe go back and watch the beginning of this past season, right through this one,
I don't
and
know
see if you change your mind.
I don't know if I'm going to. I was so invested in the first few seasons, and I had so many ideas, and I was so excited, and I was so curious where everybody was going to go, and all the characters I liked ended up disappointing me. So I feel like at this point in the game, I'm just out. You're not going to get me to invest when, especially now. I
Watch
feel like I'll
this
just get
season.
anxiety with all these people getting killed off
Watch
and
this past
dying.
season as if it's a different show, and you might change your mind.
Maybe.
V, what's your opinion? From what she's saying. Do you see the reboot? Because she was tuning out of it too. She didn't watch anything this
I don't
season. I was
know.
like, you gotta watch it. And I will say this:
If it's something that's
before
going to
anyone says it, the finale was very anticlimactic. If it was the second to last one, it wouldn't have been so bad. But being it was the finale after the week before, it sucked. It was just like, really, after that episode, nothing.
Yeah.
So that I will say, I didn't like it as a finale. But then again, here I am doing this show, and they're all multimillionaires with a top hit series. So, what do I know? But is it good? Is it bad? I don't know. But it did reinvent itself. It definitely did.
Yeah.
And I know the books go on and on. It gets all crazy and stuff. See, she said definitely try to check back.
Really? I
Yeah.
don't know. I don't know if. I'll give it a shot.
It's worth a shot.
I'll give it a shot.
We are running out of time. I'm not going to cover the Marvel stuff again because I think we kind of covered that enough.
Yeah.
But I do want to say, man, Endgame, oof, I can't wait for that.
I can't fucking wait. I am so excited.
It did say it was going to be like a little over 3 hours. There is no break. But they're making it seem like it's
I would
a
hope
big
there'd
deal.
be no break.
They've done this before. Batman vs. Superman was almost 3 hours. I think all of the Lord of the Rings were about 3 hours.
Yeah,
it's
they
not
were.
like there's never been a 3-hour movie before.
I'm sorry, but I want it to be a 3-hour movie.
I actually want it to be longer.
I
don't know how that, because
love-
again, this is a lot of wrap up they got to do.
Yeah, I love Marvel movies, and I've been really, I've been trying to watch a bunch of movies over again, and I'm fucking thrilled. I can't wait, and I don't really get excited over movies like that, and I'm really excited for this.
Not only are they wrapping up all these years building up to this, I think it's pretty known that certain characters get killed off, so they're going to have to give them their send off.
Yeah,
and
totally.
They're starting a new direction, so they're going to have to introduce some new characters. That's a lot in 3 hours. I know they
think
said
they can
there's
do
no
it,
downtime in
though.
the movie either. It's not, movies like boom, 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 then it calms down, then it comes up again. They said this is just, it hits a high and stays there the whole time.
I'm excited to see, what's gonna happen, really.
Yeah.
You know, that's like the only umbrella term I could think of, because there's so many things I want to say, but I can't say it the 5 minutes, 3 minutes,
Yeah.
whatever we have left. But I'm really excited, and that's definitely something.
We should recap it again. We
Well,
know
you
everyone's
know,
not going to get an opening weekend.
I don't know, you know, like the future of the show. Like, we're only going to be doing it once a month, you know, after this month. But, you know, this is definitely something that I want to talk about
Yeah.
when the time comes.
So
when
maybe
we go
the
see
last
it.
week in May, we'll see how it's going. We'll put it out there. People want to talk about it. I would think a month is fair enough time to see it.
I think so.
And nobody, if
and
you
don't
don't
want
have
to
any
wait
tickets,
too long, because
you're
if
probably
we wait
not
too
seeing the
long,
opening weekend.
Yeah. And no.
Yeah. I saw, like I said, they were selling tickets on eBay up to 15,000. And
Yeah,
again,
that's crazy. I'm one of those
I
people,
don't
and I
see
know so.
why.
My husband
It's
is
not a
too. Like,
once-in-a-lifetime
we don't
thing. It's
have to
gonna
see
be out
it.
for a while.
Yeah, I don't need to see it the day it comes out. I don't need the crowd. I don't need the rush. I don't need the stress. I want to enjoy it. I want to be able to focus on it, and not have, you know, there's going to be a bunch of excited, drunk young
Yeah.
kids in the back, and, you know, everybody like hooting and hollering at everything. Like, I want to enjoy it and focus.
I do, but I also want to see it as soon as possible, because you know damn
Yeah,
well.
but you could do that. You could see it as soon
Friday
as
night, there's
possible
gonna be
without
spoilers
being
out there.
absolutely. But you could do it as soon as possible without
Yeah,
it being opening night. You know, you could do it the next day, like,
Yeah.
and it'll probably, I mean, still be crowded, but you know.
The opening weekend itself, I think, is going to be tough. If I can't see it during the day on Friday, hopefully most people will not be seeing it during the day. I'll try during the day, like a Monday or Tuesday after.
That's the way to go.
You know.
That's the way to go. You'll have the whole place to yourself.
Yeah. But another thing that's exciting this month is Cobra Kai. Now, I know you don't know it too well.
I don't know shit.
If you watched The Karate Kid years ago, it kind of ended, and this picks up like as if it was today, like however long it's been, 20, 30 years after the All Valley tournament. And it shows where Daniel LaRusso is in his life and where Johnny Lawrence is in his life. And they took very opposite paths. Daniel LaRusso is now a very successful car salesman, like he owns his own dealership and he's selling all this stuff and he's loaded. Whereas Johnny kind of hit the wall. He's an alcoholic. He's, you know, in this garbage apartment and stuff. And it showed, there was, I got to send you the clip. Someone made a clip how Daniel LaRusso was actually the bully in The Karate Kid. He's a new kid to town. He comes in. He starts a fight with this guy, steals his girlfriend, cheats to get into the tournament, wins the belt from him, and all the stuff. If you see the clip, you'll understand it. Anyone who's seen it knows, and it's actually pretty funny. This seemed like it kind of took its cue from it. So now Daniel LaRusso, like I said, is living his best life. He's enjoying everything. Johnny Lawrence can't get off the ground with anything, so he decides to
I'm going to
reopen.
totally interrupt you right now. I just noticed I have coffee on my sweater, and I
Yeah.
wanted to thank V very much for the Grandma Spot Remover that got coffee off my blazer that I wanted to save. V, I love you. Thank you so much. And I'm going to have to use it on this. Hopefully it works on dry coffee.
But anyway,
Sorry, I had to say that well I could.
he decides to reopen the Cobra Kai studio because he's got nothing. He's got nothing left. He's got no money. He's just trying to survive. Daniel LaRusso sees it and decides to do everything in his power to destroy him and the studio. He can't let him live his life. He's got to still keep him down. So, of course, you know, the first season wraps up with the All Valley tournament. This time, there's a lot that happens in between, which if you, I don't want to ruin the season for you because it is great. It is great.
Yeah, this is something I can get into.
They there's the All Valley tournament again, where again it ends up Cobra Kai versus what do they call? I forget what they called LaRusso's one. It was whatever Miyagi-Do, you know, and Johnny Lawrence's student wins. So now the second season is going to be, you know, there's some reveals at the end. Some people are coming back, and you know it's going to be this whole big thing. But it's really funny. It's really well written. It's something you really got to see it.
I will.
I honestly didn't think it was going to be as good as it was. When I watched it, I kind of watched it like, yeah, this is going to be like Fuller House or something like that. It's going to be a joke.
Fuller
I watched it. I was like, wow, this is really good. It's well written. It's funny. Definitely check it out.
I'll check it out. I will.
That's debuting the end of this month too. The season 2. So it's a lot of stuff going on this month. The auto show's coming up next week too, which I'll be at.
It's a really good month for
Miyagi-Do.
Entertainment and for
Yes.
like television movies.
But unfortunately, we are out of time.
Wah, wah.
So again, just to wrap up, we have 2 more weeks of the full month of Pinup School Cats and Comics.
Yep.
We're going to figure out what our goal is going to be for the last 2 weeks. The Newman Show is starting next month. Check out our sponsors, Kayla Logistic and Day 3 Botanicals. We hope you all had a good time, and we will see you next week.
Bye, guys.